Steven here from History Hustle, and I'm standing here on the island of Labuan, near the island of Borneo in Malaysia. And in this video, I'll talk about Borneo during the Second World War. Borneo was divided according to the following. A large part of Borneo was Dutch, current Kalimantan, and the rest was British, divided into the Kingdom of Sarawak, the Protectorate of Brunei, and British North Borneo. Borneo had a lot of oil fields, and the Japanese needed oil so badly for their war in China. They first tried to get oil by negotiations, but when that failed, they made plans for war. The Allies also made plans for war. And the ABDA Command, which stands for American, British, Dutch, Australian Command, a combined force, was established to protect the western colonies from a Japanese attack. The question is, were they ready for war? After the Japanese surprise attack on Pearl Harbor, they started their conquest of Southeast Asia. From French Indochina, French troops sailed to Miri and later Kuching, and they drove away the Allies. The Allies withdrew into the jungle of the Dutch Borneo, and after weeks of staying there, they surrendered to the Japanese at the 1st of April 1942. The capitulation was already a fact. What followed was a harsh Japanese occupation. The consequences for most inhabitants of Borneo were very negative. Chinese could be the victim of random terror and executions. Malays could stay in their positions, but they were not always safe. And then there was also tribes, for example the Dayaks, who were hostile towards the Japanese and bear the severe consequences of that. And the elite raids on Japanese positions, to which many civilians became a victim. But probably the worst off were the elite prisoners of war, who had to endure severe conditions, most infamous in the Sandakan Death March. 2,400 elite troops were on the march. 260 survived, of which only 6 made it to the end of the war. Operation Obu was the name for the operation to liberate Borneo, the south of the Philippines and the Dutch East Indies. The Australians carried out amphibious attacks on the island of Borneo, and after some severe fighting, they defeated the Japanese. And it was here, on the 10th of September 1945, that the Japanese commander of the 37th Army surrendered to the Australians. And we are here at the War Cemetery. 8,000 elite troops died during the liberation of Borneo. And after the war, there were critics who said that the operation was senseless. Japan surrendered in August 45. Did we really have to sacrifice all those lives for just an early liberation? However, some important goals were achieved by this operation. First of all, the Japanese got cut off from the rest of their army. Second, oil fields were secured before they could be destroyed by the Japanese. And third, a large amount of elite personnel that was prisoner of war in hands of the Japanese were liberated. The rebuilding of the cities here on Borneo took very long. And it wasn't until January 1946 that the last Australian troop could go home.